Hello, I'm adding this video um, sort of to the personality type section of YouTube. I type myself as a INTJ. I found this test, a couple years back, probably about three. It really didn't mean a whole lot to me though until I went to college. It was at college that I really started, having to interact with a lot of different personality types and things that people that weren't, necessarily your friends to begin with. You might get stuck with a couple different roommates who, one roommate might be like an ESFP or something like that, or my current roommate is an ISTP. And it just I sort of wondered as an INTJ why I was so different than most of the other people that I met. I mean, the INTJ is, I've read, between 1 to 2% of the population, but I'm kind of skeptical of that. But then again, I'm not sure if I would be able to detect an INTJ if I were to meet one, simply because it seems like I have my certain, base INT traits, but I find the more that I look into the different personality types, I could sometimes synthesize different characters. Like for say, I'm an introvert, right? But through careful, observation of extroverts, I can, for a short period of time, emulate their sort of extroverted, nature. Ask lots of, questions and, you know, just like that sort of stuff. It doesn't come naturally to me or to want to do it, but using my intuitive powers, I'm able to sort of synthesize the missing trait. With that being said, the only trait that I feel that I can't truly synthesize yet, at least, is the feeling trait. Mainly because it I feel is so illogical, I guess. Like a feeler, they can sometimes, you know, they'll have a friend, say, and they'll be able to be really nice to their friend and do all this stuff, but then the next second they'll come back around and sort of, backstab them on something. Because I feel like the feeling type is maybe perhaps more selfish, I guess. Like for me as a thinker, I will make one decision. It'll be one that's mutual. Like it's like either the person is going to get screwed over by my decision or they're not. It's not like I'm going to, flip between two sides of a coin on, who I tell, how I tell it. It's what it is. It's like we do this because this and that. And you can hear the decision structure in it. But yeah, so I mean, there's just there's it'd be kind of hard for me to really, I guess, find another INTJ for that reason. It's almost like because of my abstract abilities, I can sort of synthesize anything I need for at least a short period of time. Granted, it's difficult. I guess one of the really good things about being an INTJ is that once I actually do pick uh, something that I want to do, like a course of action, I almost never fail at it because I'm able to sort of start something off with maybe five different plans. Like say that I wanted to, build a bridge. It's like even though I've never built a bridge and know practically nothing about it, I'm an excellent brainstormer. I could find the right people. I could develop several different plans, contingencies, and basically the way my mind works is I'll either start from the top or from the bottom. Building a bridge, it starts with the big picture idea of the bridge, and then I'd probably need to move into something like, where the bridge is going to be located, and just like I'm able to see everything from the top, and even though I'm not really interested in detail, sort of synthesize my way to the bottom. Um, I guess one of the interesting things about me and interacting with people is that I have a really hard time interacting with people if we're not actually doing anything. Like, it's really difficult for me to sort of sit around and socialize for socialization's sake. Like to me, it's difficult because I feel like there's nothing like involved. We'll be sitting there, like maybe watching TV, and it's just lots and lots of extroverted sensing talk that just like it starts to drive me crazy, I guess, and lots of feeling too. I mean, it's like I don't really have the same pieces, I guess, as other people. Like it's my intuitive nature makes it hard for me to have shallow conversations where we just ask lots of questions. Like say someone leaves and they call and say that they made it all right. It's like the next thing the extrovert wants to do is ask, was there a lot of fog on the way or something like that. It just seems completely irrelevant to me. But I guess well, I was reading one of the personality descriptions. It says INTJs are excellent leaders. I think that that is true. Um, I think it's mainly because for me, I'm able to see all the different options, and like once I start working on an idea, it's almost impossible for me to stop thinking about it until it's complete. Like I will plan out the whole entire solution if possible. Or if something is too complex for me to understand, then I'm able to just sort of connect things on a big picture scale and sort of just have big picture idea to big picture idea to big picture idea, and then link them all together and just assume that the details can be worked out because the first big picture idea is logically correct. And also, I guess my other components of being a thinker, like I was saying earlier, is that like I try and be fair at almost all costs. Like I may not have the natural empathy or those sort of things that the other types have, but I know that I understand when work's distributed that I'm not going to overload any one person. To me, it's important that they're able to operate at their maximum capability. And I mean, you probably even noticed that word that I just dropped right there, like capability. It's like I find that's the language that I naturally choose to use in many situations because to me everything has like a strength or something's a little bit different than something else for a particular reason. For me, it's always my ideal goal to try and be the best at something. I like things that can be measured, like working out and that sort of thing is more attractive to me than sports per se because sports I just find well like Major League Baseball or something. It's just a lot of stats and a lot of numbers and a lot of the details that a sensor might like. But to me, it's just like it's really hard for me to get into it because it's just so passive. It's not like I'm involved in the outcome. Whereas like if I was just to go to the gym, it's like my body almost becomes a system. And it's like if I can, push through these reps, then it's like I'll, guarantee that I can be this much stronger, in a week. Just that sort of thing. I guess learning to me is kind of another interesting area, even though I'm able to, do very complicated things like I'm into computer programming. I find that I don't quite learn the same way as other people. Like for me, like if I'm going to learn something, I have to pull information from many sources before I can feel like I truly understand it or even get it. Like some people are able to like say there's like this machine, right? And it's like you have to press green, red, yellow, and then it turns blue. Like it's just like that order of things to remember to get that outcome without any background of why is almost impossible for me to even deal with. Like if I don't understand the full depth of how the system works or what it's even doing, then it's like it's almost completely irrelevant to me. So for me, I would have to read several books and figure out how the system works at the most fundamental level before I could even understand it. But then it's like for me, once I actually understand something, it's like it's not like I memorized it. It's like I understand it for life. Like it's like anything I've ever learned, it's like I remember almost completely because I actually know. I feel like that's one of my major struggles. Like when I work with other people, is like I feel like sometimes if they don't truly know, it's just kind of frustrating. Like I don't want people like if I had a team, I don't want a team full of people that know that you're just supposed to press the red button before the green button to get the blue button. It's like that sort of thing is just it's really hard to develop a new idea from that because if you only know the shortcut, then you really haven't you don't have the perspective or the you won't be able to develop a vision to take something to the next level or even to eliminate a step because you realize that something's completely irrelevant. Um, what else? I guess I always find myself fairly busy too. I feel like there's always just something to do. Jobs have never really been an issue for me. Like I always like work. Like for me, work is fun because it gives me a chance to, you know. But I think I'm just about out of time. If you have any thoughts or any questions, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and maybe I'll post another one if there's enough demand. All right, take care.